Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Hates the Name Plays Monster Train. So today I had another off-camera run where I played as the Remnant, Melting Remnant clan with the Hellhorned as my allied clan, and I ended up beating Covenant rank 16 with that combination. Um, so sorry that you missed that. If you're wondering why I have a win streak of 0 though, it's because I then attempted to do this setup here and lost as well, or lost again. I think I've tried this recently on camera and had it go poorly for us. I was looking recently at our log books. We can see here that we need a Umbra Stygian win and an Umbra Melting Remnant win, and then a Melting Remnant Awoken win. So those are the things we need to get done. If we take a look at our run history, just thinking these two were off camera, so that means this would probably have been our last on camera. Hard to say. I can't actually remember. Um, I have played a decent amount off camera recently just because I was doing other things and I couldn't be recording at the same time. So you know what? We'll just try that setup since we have no wins yet. We know that these two can be strong. We just have to find a way to make them work together. So our spells are getting devoured. That's probably okay. Let's see what we get from this. Grant +3 stacks of burnout each time it is applied. Okay, so this gives us the opportunity to play a burnout kind of build where we try and keep all of our units with burnout alive for as long as possible, versus the alternate build of trying to revive all of our burnout units. This is also very interesting and extremely strong if you get the ability to move enemy units between floors, which I know both Awoken and the Melting Remnants have the ability to descend a unit. Drip Fall for the Melting Remnant, and I forget what it's called for the Awoken, but it's the one that heals 10 and descends. So that actually could be really strong. Obviously not for the bottom floor, but could be pretty strong for just uh, for weakening units on our train. I'm gonna try this though, the combustible wax. I'm not sure if we've had it before. Also, I was thinking we would do this then. Take our burnout champion, and that sets him up to be quite good early on, especially. So I think we can afford to turn this on. So we're gonna need a couple more things card-wise. So we have glimmers, that's awesome. We have these guys, and they're pretty solid too. Um, we also have that resin removal. I'm still pretty, like maybe I haven't used it enough to have a strong opinion about it necessarily, but I'm still pretty unimpressed with it so far. I think this setup is fine. Might as well put some regen on him since we got nothing better to do with that. I'm gonna have to glimmer this just to get that money, but glad to have the glimmer to be able to do that with. Here, 5-7 damage, so this will actually make a difference. Do we care if that train steward survives? Actually, maybe would have been better if he died. Too late though. We've invested in him, so let's go a little heavier on that investment. Let's make sure this guy dies, as he's the only one who actually is threatening to do damage to our pyre currently. Set those guys up just in case the boss makes it past our champion floor, but I don't think they will, and no, they will not. So, all good on the first fight. That went about as well as could be. We do really like these units now, so I think I will take this. I know we said we need more, we need to be able to apply more burnout to our units, and this is exactly that, but it does consume. So I'm gonna go with this and just hope to get another opportunity later on. Here, I do kind of like this razor sharp edge. Let me just look at how much health do they have? 5? So they could actually take that and they get quite a bit out of it. She can't. Not at current. Oh yeah, she can. She would have 1 health. It's a little tight, but could work. Just also thinking, I guess we have glimmers that can hit the back units. Otherwise, we can't really target anyone. So those support units could be kind of problematic. So I was kind of considering a Husk Hermit here. Since we're trying to keep our units from burning out, I think this is less relevant, the harvest triggers. Generally, I've liked the multi-strike over like the sweep. I think it's because this is more single target damage. I mean, that's exactly the difference between them, but like I think that I like that a little more. The area damage is really nice for sure, don't get me wrong, but there's the things that I find troublesome are usually the bosses or those units with like 95 plus HP who just survive up to the top. So I'm gonna give her a try. I feel like I gotta be more selective with how I build my decks though. I like the idea of getting a remnant unit here, so I'm gonna go this route. Also, I'd like to upgrade our units. Now again, same as before. I don't think the gold is super good here. The slay trigger is just too hard to make happen, I think. So I might just skip on this one. Okay, so we can make her like exceptionally large and high damage. I think that benefits us quite a bit, just to have a really strong attack unit. 25 HP. Maybe we'd like to have that on one of these guys so that they can tank a little more. So that's not a terrible option. Making those guys endless also would be pretty nice. I think we can afford to turn this on. There's a strong possibility we take a bit of damage off of this. In fact, it's almost guaranteed because our top floor units will be stunned, so cutting that off is really hard. But at the same time, I think we gotta leverage a little bit of our pyre health into something strong. In the future, we might want to like have this unit on a burnout floor so that we can have, you know, spells trigger on that floor, or the Lady of Melting or whatever it's called, that that one card that gives every unit behind it and itself burnout triggers when it gets hit. So we might want to set that up differently in the future, but for now I think this is fine to be able to just put these guys on the top. Her champion acting as something of a tank, but also just giving all of our damage there. It's not terrible. Set this up to apply a little damage to the first floor. So yeah, we take a bit of damage there. We took 9. With burnout, I mean with multi-strike 3, well with this we can just clear this floor. And I think we're going to because we want that money. It's a little bit of a greedy move because literally every other unit was already dead. But it does prevent our champion from taking more unnecessary damage. And and it heals him a little bit. I think this is fine. Kill off the front unit, which is the strong tank in front for the enemy, so that's good. And once again, this seems quite strong, and making her hit even harder is awesome. You're not at full HP, so we'll heal you. It's a strong possibility the boss makes it to the top floor, since that's where we're hanging out, but that's fine. Set this guy up, and we'll remove their spikes to give our units a little longer to fight. Does this make much of a difference? I can't even see how much it heals. It's up to 5, then 6 with the regen. I think that moves things along a little bit. It doesn't make too big of a difference either way, I'm sure. Can't fit anyone up there, so we might as well just set up a strong floor here. Just to apply as much damage as possible, which actually we got quite a bit out of. And then might as well do that. We've done this already, so I don't think it's going to remove anything else, but we had the ember and nothing else to do. So this is the kind of thing we need. This can be quite strong, giving our units behind it stealth, and then this also can be quite strong, but we didn't take the artifact. It can still be strong, especially for setting up our own like powerful floors, but I think this is what we want right now. It's kind of what we asked for, so let's not, look a gift horse in the mouth, as it were. Let's take the restoration detonation here. I would like the stronger heal from it, and the damage is really nice if you can make it work. But even when you can't, 1 ember for 10 heal is pretty decent. Here we have an interesting option. You could argue that our animus of will is strong enough to be a good duplicate target already. We would need something to put in front of both of them, and I don't know if our champion's gonna be a good long-term tank. But we could also use the health. Definitely wouldn't hurt us. It would do the exact opposite, I guess, by definition. However, a free artifact is always really nice, and getting another unit could be really strong. Although that unit couldn't, well, I shouldn't say couldn't possibly be, but almost certainly would not be as strong as our upgraded unit. I'm just thinking the 2 kinds of units that I know of from Melting Remnant that would be like exceptionally strong are the Legion of Wax. You do need to upgrade them, but I mean they're very worth doing that too. And then there's that other unit, and I don't remember what they're called right now, where when they die they get 10 attack. If you can give that unit endless or something and just keep bringing it back, it can be so strong. So I'm gonna go this way though. I'm gonna get that duplicate, just because it does seem like our strongest card gain out of both choices. And I do miss out on an artifact that could be really strong, I know, but we'll maybe be able to take our HP gain and kind of turn that into an artifact or something through a trial. Leverage it, as I like to say. So get a random Melting Remnant, Stygian Guard, or Umbra. I think we're gonna find the best synergy by just sticking with Melting Remnant here. There could probably be some pretty good like Umbra, although I find these often have morsel relevancy on them, like they require a morsel to trigger, and that makes them completely useless. And then Stygian Guards largely spell focused, which we are not terribly spell focused currently. So we will take this because it's more burnout, which we were kind of asking for. At this point, do I feel like we need more burnout options? Not, probably not. I mean, I know that's only 2 cards, but with this, we're actually lasting quite a long time already on our units. And I mean, the main one that we want to keep around is our champion, and maybe also that one unit who we gave the one multi-strike draft. Yeah, we would like to give them a little extra. Here, we obviously don't want to set up on this floor because that's a lot of damage coming out that we can't really stop. We don't have Glimmer. Um, I think we should set up on the top floor just because we're dazed for a round anyways, so and we'll do this to keep him going. We're dazed for a round up there, so it's best to do it before any units make it up there. And this doesn't matter. Also, I don't know if a collector fairy actually shows up on these boss fights. Now that I think about it, probably they don't. Here, we probably want to go ahead and do this, just because that takes care of the bomb. And here, we have an interesting choice. I think the correct decision is to put this out. We could have glimmered to clear them, but we couldn't have afforded to do that and put him out. And I think it's better to get a tank unit in front of. Granted, our Animus of Will has quite a bit of HP, so they probably could have tanked it for a little while. I don't know if we want to throw this guy away too frivolously, because he's like, these guys now actually last a little longer, and so they actually have a little more strength as a result. Granted, I know we kind of threw one away on the middle floor, but we used it to block, so that was something worthwhile. Now we wish we had the glimmer, mostly so we could kill the bomb without tanking that hit. Go ahead and power her up, and then I don't know if this is gonna make a difference. Let's see. You're dealing 6, 8 plus 10. That's not enough to kill. Why is he dying? Are you exploding twice? Oh, they deal 1 damage on death. So then add 3 to that. How much did I say? 18? So yeah, that'd be 21. So this actually will keep it alive for another turn, which is great. It's great because hopefully we get the, I was hoping we'd get our restoration detonation. There it is, but no luck on that. Regardless, it's still good because it'll help us clear these units out. No glimmer on this floor. Hopefully we'll... Do we have any glimmers coming? No, we can't really rely on them showing up, unfortunately. If we play a unit, they'll probably... Like, if we play all 3 of these units, I think they all get wiped out, yeah. So, not a lot of good happening there. And we can't fit any more on either of these floors. So that made our decisions pretty simple. Have you taken any damage? No, so we can't just do this to destroy it. I don't suppose that counts as a buff that we could just remove. Rage does though. So go ahead and do that. It's still killing you, but not anymore. That's pretty nice. If we could get 1 more capacity, we could fit like one of these units or one of these units in front of this row. That would be actually pretty good. Because these guys are They are good blockers, and they actually do bring some damage. Okay, we're on to the final wave. That's good news. Um, so I think we're just gonna set you up down here, help get that quick kill. That seems sensible. And then we'll hit this guy with a little extra. You're gonna burn out. I should have probably given you that extra turn worth of fight. Hopefully we'll get something to put here, and we did. And we can give her a little extra damage, keep him around for a little longer. I know he's already dead, but just playing it out. So things are going pretty well. I think we do want capacity on this one. Now this always has a pretty interesting question. With 43 max HP, now I wish I'd given them more, given them that like plus 25 HP. Oh, oof, if we had planned for that. But yeah, we definitely have a use case for this then. And we kind of have a use case for this guy. I don't know if we want to turn him into a damage dealer, but we probably want to keep him around maybe as just a tank. We'll figure it out as we go with that one. I'm sure there's definitely somewhere for him. Whether that's on the floor in front of an Animus as a tank, or if it's on his own floor with something in front of him as a damage dealer. That's kind of where we've got to go with this. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, another. We do have, yeah, we do have 6 capacity now, so we could technically fit 2 of these guys on the same floor if we wanted to do that, go that route. Can we choose? We can't just close out of this and check our merchant before coming back. Seems the answer is no. So I will make a decision, and I think we're just gonna go with another one of those guys. Here. I do like the idea of like these guys being as tanky as possible. But I mean, we kind of gotta give these guys a fair shake. Making this guy quick and then making him our target for the mute, what is it called? Mutagen something or other? Adaptive mutation? I think that's what it's called. Isn't bad. I think what we'd like to see is something like that though. Could make that guy quick too. That way if he's played without a blocker in front of him, he at least gets 40 damage dealt. I like that. Sucks to miss out on that. By 5 gold really hurts. I could have skipped out on one of these units and made that work. So this would be like 110 HP if you max out his HP. It's not bad. I would like to give him multi-strike if we were gonna adaptive mutate him though. I guess we shouldn't be too picky. Might want to just use them as tanks rather than that. Giving him plus 10 HP? Yeah, 10 HP. Okay, that's good enough to start. We do want him having more HP if he's going to be a tank. And I think, yeah, we keep this going. The harvest trigger might have worked better as a tank, but I'm not convinced. I hate this one. I hate this one a lot. Especially when there's units. I don't think you have 10 HP. I believe you have a lot more than 10 HP. Oh, you have 50 armor. That's what it is. You do have 10 HP, but plus 50 armor. So we need to do 60 damage to kill this guy alone. Which I guess we do quite a bit of damage between these two. But with these two on the same floor, I guess we do a fair bit of damage. You know what? Maybe this is the rare time where we really can afford to make this work. We'll see how it works. See how it goes. These guys get stronger as they go up, so we'd like to deal with them early on. This will get us a kill, which is great. I think we do want him on top. Do we want to put this guy out here? We've got to be careful with our space now, because we've got size, 3 pips worth of units. We're going to want one behind here. We're going to want one either in front of this guy or behind a guy like this guy. If we put our Animus back here, and an Animus and another Hollow, then this guy, he's going to be our last line. We might want to put something in front of him. I'm not sure that a Train Steward is really the answer, but it's what we've got right now, so let's start with it. So this is the choice for right here, and that's great. That's fine. What's happening there? You're our tank. Granted, you are less tanky than this one, but that's fine for now. We need to do 15 more damage. We can't. So we need that space. I can do this to block though. So this guy might survive up to the pyre. I think he will, yeah. Because we're gonna put her here. No room for her up here anyways. We're not doing an extra 20 damage. The only way we would have is if we drew, well, the two ways we would have is if we drew Adaptive Mutation or if we drew the, what's the word I'm looking for here? 2 damage doesn't make the difference here, sadly. Oh, but maybe that does. If we drew Restoration Detonation would have worked. There's actually another way. Oh, the draft. Of course. So that is what we wanted to set up there. I'd like to put someone in front of him, and maybe I'll just put one of these guys down just in case these guys do end up surviving to the top at some point. Let's do that. It doesn't remove the resolve. So once again, it does nothing. It's kind of been the case with that card a lot. Does it get consumed? No, of course not. That would be kind of nice if it did. Alright, let's keep healing this guy in case the boss makes it up here. How you doing? You're very dead. We love to see that. Yeah, so you would be nice up here, and then you would obviously be the front. And we'd be looking pretty on all 3 floors. So that was a pretty good run and a pretty good what am I trying to say? Test of the deck. Test of the concept. We don't have any sting spells, so it might actually be worth grabbing the 25 gold here. I mean, this thing would be nice if we picked up some sting spells, don't get me wrong. So I guess I'll take it just so that we have the option. I don't think we need this. I don't think we need him, even though he does do the job of like an endless tomb unit that we were talking about getting earlier. And I don't think we can really afford to play this most of the time. So I'm going to take the skip. Now this actually is pretty interesting and could be really strong for us. So I think we do want to take it. Because we could start lowering units, opening up space on our very full floors, and really taking advantage of what we get there. I like this path. There's probably some spells that we want to upgrade, like our Glimmer, for example. But at the same time, free removal and checking out that artifact shop will be real good. Definitely don't feel like we need this. We don't have any spikes. This is like only okay, I think. We only have 2 tome units, and I don't know, it's kind of semi-random when they'll end up dying, so getting 5 Ember on a random turn would be nice, but is it worth spending that much gold on? Probably not. A reroll is gonna see us have less than enough gold to actually purchase anything, so we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna remove our train steward here and move on. Bit of a whiff. Probably should have gone left in retrospect. So, as usual, this is likely to result in us getting a bit of pyre damage dealt to us, but at the same time, it's also, once those first 2 floors are cleared, we do end up in a better spot, or the same spot as we would be without the trial. I think it's fine to just kind of set up like we did last time. Granted, we don't want this guy taking too much damage on his own up there. So this might be the time where we want to set this up. Ah, but we can't afford this now. Okay, good to know. We'll have to wait for that to come back around. Okay. We're in an interesting scenario here where we can do something a little crazy if we wanted. We can't afford to bring her down right now, actually, so scratch that idea. We'll just use that guy to block a little damage, and we'll give him a heal to try and make up for the fact that he's taking a lot. So this guy got a major damage buff, which is a bit annoying. We need to block for her a bit, and getting that guy killed is nice. I think we want this space for a blocker as well, though. Yeah, he's got burnouts that we'll have to worry about, but hopefully we get the cards we need to keep him around. The amount of multi-strike we've got going on is it's quite nice. So we can set that up. Though no, we need the block up here. I think we can afford to just keep healing him. Or him. Let's put a damage dealer down there just to add a little damage. We know that the boss is coming up. Heal a little more. And we'll oof. This is the perfect time for that, so that's good. Should have done this first, but it doesn't matter because he's still lower health. Keep him around as long as possible. Oh, you have sweep, so this guy was long gone. I don't know what we removed from this guy, but we removed something. But he was already dead, so I don't know how much it helped. Okay, trial complete. We took a little bit of damage, and this is the guy I was talking about who can be super strong. Do we have space for him right now, though? Ooh, boy. Uh, just trying to think of our setup. We do not really have space for him. Bounty Stalker. We would need one more capacity to fit him on a floor. Um, although we're gonna move units with our descend option. I think we can afford to take him. Oh, you know that there's a lot of good targets for that. So yeah, let's grab that too. It's a little greedy, and our deck's getting a little fat as a result. This option's really nice. I don't know what we'd want to duplicate though. We don't really need any more units, that's for sure. We could duplicate Restore and Retreat. I'd kind of like to make it cost less, but obviously we can't do that before duping it here if we do decide to go this way. We do need some unit upgrades. There's a couple that we need still. Like either of them could use one. I really would love to see Endless on, so that we can afford to make him come back. I guess we gotta try for it. Nice. So we love to see that. Love to see that option. I wonder if that's... Well, we don't really want him to survive, so we don't really need him having more HP. Now that I look at it. Is it worth 20 gold to give this guy this small boost? I'd rather see him get plus 25 HP. I'd like to see both of them get plus 25 HP, honestly. Yikes. Okay, well, we're gonna do this because it's really good, but it's gonna be hard to work out our space. Let's just say that. And since we have an overabundance of units, we can remove one of those guys. Grab this cash here. Probably could have done that before going to the shop, but I don't mind not having spent all of it. This is a good question. What do we leverage? Money or higher health? Let's take a look at where we're going. It's a duplicate spot or a Merchant of Steel again. Wow, we're not going to get a Merchant of Magic until the very end. That's too bad. I mean, I know we passed up on a couple opportunities, but I was hoping we'd find one in this or this path, but... Okay, that in mind, we are gonna... I think we're gonna go Merchant of Magic here. So we are gonna hit up Pyre Remains there. Here, we're probably more likely to go for Merchant of Steel over a duplicate, because I don't know what we're gonna duplicate. At this point, our deck is a bit large, at least on units. Maybe we do duplicate the Descend at that point, just so that we can fit all of the units that we've got rolling in this deck. With that in mind, I think we're gonna pick up some health. So let's start at least with offering a little health, and it worked out. When you play a random card in hand is reduced to 0 cost. Okay, it's not spectacular. I don't think we have too many super expensive cards that we will be relying on that to hit necessarily. Although that is pretty expensive, so that could be nice to have that hit that. So there's definitely times it'll come in handy, I'm sure. Wonder if it can hit the Scourge cards. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't be possible for it to hit the Scourge cards, so maybe we'll get lucky and that's exactly what will happen right here. Didn't happen yet, but you know, maybe it'll happen right here. It did. Nice. Granted, we have enough energy to cast it, though. That's because he got made free. He got made free. Might as well do that, I think. So I think we're gonna actually, I think we're gonna actually get capacity out of this, uh, this one. So I was just thinking we could set her up here, but then where do we fit him? I guess we could fit him up right here. So yeah, that seems okay. Cast that, and then why don't we put this guy down? Probably should have given him the rejuvenate. And making those cards free is nice. So we need to see adaptive mutation. We are kind of out of like the perfect targets. That's all of these guys. But I do still think it's probably worth, yeah, it's worth casting at least. Maybe I'll make him the front. Well, he does a fair bit of damage. We'll make him a middleman here. And then we'll put you behind. Let's see, you're doing lots of damage there. You're gonna die, and that is perfect. Actually, exactly what we were looking for. Okay, so he's back. And he's stronger than it. We're making him dazed every time we put him up there. It's not the ideal floor for him, I'm realizing, to keep coming back from. This is quite nice. I really do gotta focus on healing this guy a little bit, though. Otherwise, he's gonna be gone before long. So we give you that, and we make you much stronger damage-wise. Should probably have thought about playing. Oh, we can even play either of those units. So we've just taken like 7 damage or something like that. It's not my favorite, but we're now quite set up. What we're looking for here is obviously extending. Yeah, we should probably extend him, simply because he was buffed by our, what's it called? Channel Song? Yeah, that's what it's called, Channel Song. So we did want to see him stick around a little longer since he's dealing some real damage. We do need to worry about keeping our champ healthy, of course, though. So here's where this can really come in handy. We know that we're gonna get some stuff made free here, so let's do that and that. Yes. For a second I didn't think it hit that, but it did, which is really nice. We'll keep healing you. We need to kind of split our heals between those two. This Hollow and our champion. Well, now we kind of need to focus on. Well, never mind. She's dead. So we're all good down here. And I think we've done pretty well to set up a decently strong deck that's got all the tools necessary to really make a big difference. I think we want this again. We do have multiple targets that's really good on, so I don't see that being a bad choice. And again, I'm leaning towards this path. both because the health will be really nice. I think we can stand to remove a couple of these dregs. Do we have a better removal target? Maybe resin removal itself and a drag. There might be some enemies at the end, like in the final boss fight, that do like Ember Drain, and we'll want to resin removal that. And then I think we do go ahead and duplicate this, because it just lets us set up such a strong lower floor. Keep this rolling. It's a lot of health, so you know he can do well as a tank that we're using him for. I think we can actually afford to turn this on. We took the pyre health, so we can leverage that, and we dish a lot of damage, so I think 20 armor is not going to make too big of a difference overall. And we've got a pretty solid starting setup right here. Go ahead and put him down as well. Didn't actually change how quickly this unit dies. Just maybe part of the problem. So use him as a bit of a block. Just because we do... darn, we're not going to be able to get that. You are the tanky one, or like the intended tank. We're going to block for him a little bit though. I was wondering if we just send this guy, is he going to give these guys ×3 attack? Because that could be problematic if it does work that way. It's free now, so I'm tempted to try using it somewhere. We could just send him, but then we heal him a bunch. We'll see if that's how it works. Oh yeah, they're hitting ×3, so we just took a whole bunch more damage than we would have needed to. Which is a shame. Okay, we have Glimmer. Doesn't make a big difference actually. We do have this unit, which is quite nice, and this unit, which is exceptionally good there. And this guy who can exist. Oh yeah, right. He's dazed. I was like, why is he doing no damage? It's because he's dazed. Do that on this floor. Give him a heal. He's taken a lot of damage already. Partially due to our bad decisions. So some of these units are making it up to the top floor right now. Not what we want to see, but we've got enough room to make this work now, so that's awesome. We can set this up. Give him a little help. Brief respite. Okay. Think he does not have very much health right now, so I think let's use this to give him a full heal. And I realized that that's all of our ember. Was that a 3 cost? No, it was 2. We must have done something for 1 that I didn't pay enough attention to. The only thing I was going to do was lower one of these units, but he's already dead on this floor. The other thing I could do is reverse this so that she does more damage. Now they're full health. Let's do a removal. Oh, it doesn't even remove the buff. Seems like seems kind of silly that there's these units that give buffs, but then you hit them with the buff removal and it doesn't change their buff they're giving. I think that would make resin removal a lot more usable if it did actually hit that. So we have the plus 20 magic power to sting spells, so this could work for us. And sting spells are nice because they give you added draw on future turns, so I think that's worth picking up. And we were planning to go this way to finally do a little upgrading. I think what we want to see, this happen right here. We want to make our restores a little better. Now, gotta remember, we're going to have our spells devoured, so that's fine. We're quite rich, but we do also have this to check out, so let's do that now. Do we stack up much regen? I don't think so. I think it's just through our restores that we get regen. Yeah, like this heal and this heal don't give any actual regen, neither do these. So, no, good on that front. This probably won't work super well for us because A, our spells are going to be consumed the first spell we play, and B, we already make cards cost 0 when we play our units, so we probably won't have a lot of high cost spells to use to make that work. I think the health is relevant. I think this is good. This is just like a straight upgrade to our tomb units. I would have liked this as well, but oh well. And we're gonna reroll. We don't have enough to afford everything. A holdover spell, we could... I mean, a holdover on a spell, we could use it on this to give our guy... let's see, 1 second. Oh, we have enough, we could make a good glimmer and give it holdover. If we wanted. That actually is pretty appealing simply because it's AoE, so it'd be nice to heal our units and hit all of the enemy units, killing most of the weaker support units or high damage units that are in the back. I think that's worth it because I'm just thinking of the kind of enemies we see on the... Ooh, gotta put on the right one. On the boss fight. And there are some units that usually come in with like 12 times 2 damage. And I think we do want to, not this. We do want to duplicate our cheaper descend here so that we just see it a little more often. We could have given it holdover, but I don't think it's quite what we want every turn. It's just something we want every once in a while. Okay. So we know what we want to see happen here. We want this unit. We're happy to get him out here. I think this guy can go right here. This isn't doing anything for us right now. Neither of these are really. So I think we're just gonna have to skip. It's too bad we saw these before we had anything to actually use them on. But that's why we got extras in the deck, right? Okay, yeah. So we want him here, because he is a tank. His intended purpose in our deck is to be a tank. We're okay with that one consuming because it already had consume on it. And we needed to give him some actual HP. See, once we get to the holdover, these units that are dealing 12 damage each with 3 HP are just going to be no problem. And there it is. That said, we got to remember the whole consume thing. It's an important part to remember. So we didn't make this free, but everything else is free, so we can go ahead and just cast that. I think I'm going to use this simply to get rid of the consume, and then we can use this. And I think Either of these two floors is pretty good. We can kill that guy and that guy. This clears the self-mutilation out of our hands and heals our champion, but this also heals this guy. And hits both of them and hits the boss. I think this is good because it's going to hit the boss even harder because it clears the floor for our damage dealers. Okay, just want to see what we're doing here. So this is a good option. Then we're going to use this first to consume. And then we use this down here. Oh, he died because of the exploding unit. Let's block some of this damage with this unit. Okay. This is a decent time for this card, actually. We are gonna consume it. I think that's just gonna have to be okay. We definitely wanted to do that. And get that guy back out there. Him. I will cast him, and I think I'll put him behind, because he does a decent amount of damage. Might want to try and keep him going somehow in the future, but for now I think this is fine. Kind of forgot we had Channel Song. I'm not really sure what we have left. We have one drag. That's it. It says one available target. Technically he goes back into the deck, but we don't really need it to hit him. He's already making himself stronger. It's alright, we'll pull him out. I forgot. I didn't realize we had this in our hand. I was like, this would have been a better target, actually. Oh well. Let's do that. Dang. We're burning out here, huh? Oh yeah, and these will make better targets for our consume spells. Let's go ahead and do this up here, since we don't really need to heal him since he's going to be disappearing. That's quite unfortunate. We're losing out on a big defense for our bottom floor now. We probably got to start banking on our other floors to be a little stronger as a result. So I'll do that, and then I'll lower him and make this our strong floor. This showed up a turn too late. Alright, let's keep this guy alive. And this showed up a turn too late. The audacity. We're on the final wave here. So I think if we're gonna lower something, we shouldn't lower any of these units to this floor, because this floor is kind of a bust. We should lower this unit to that floor. I'm okay with it consuming. We want to make sure to keep this floor as healthy as possible. We're willing to take a couple bit of damage to make it happen. For what I would assume are very obvious reasons, we need to win right now. And we're not quite there. And this is a lot of crap in our hand, which really sucks right now. We got up to 1504. Oh boy. I think we're kind of out of luck. Honestly, losing our champion probably is what cost us there. And it's because we were one turn shy of getting, like, it hadn't happened before then, where all we needed to do was get this card earlier. We were one turn shy of that. Okay, you do 3. Like, you're gonna dish Why 35 damage? Why isn't he getting to attack? It's because you're gonna attack him, he explodes. Then his daze wears off, then you're gonna attack him. Because his stealth is gonna wear off while he's dazed. I understand, and I'm upset by it, but there's nothing I can do. We were very close once again. Well, that's okay. It was Covenant rank 17, so it's a little harder. I do think we got we got that little bit of unlucky uh, draw at the end, which seems to happen often, but that's okay. We'll come back next time and try again. Thanks for checking me out, everybody. See ya.